Hi folks, Matt Easton here of Schola Gladiatoria. Now we've got a short video for you today with a very special guest, and I will ask him to introduce himself. So, Alex, who are you?
Hello, my name is Alexander Stankiewicz. I'm director of Kvetun Armoury and one of the main instructors in HEMA Prague. HEMA club suspiciously located in the city of Prague in Czechia. I guess that's enough to begin with.
So that was actually going to be my next question. Where are you? Obviously, you're in Prague for the English speakers out there, or Praha. And essentially, I've been working with Alex for years. As you know, I developed the Easton Sabre and various other things we've done together. And obviously, I feature a lot of Kvetun products in my videos because basically all of my training swords are Kvetun now. Because having tried lots of makes over the years, not to say there aren't some good ones out there for me personally, I love Kvetun stuff. My favorite rapier is Kvetun. My favorite feathers are feather shirt are Kvetun, and of course the sabers I designed. Now we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing together and what's going to be coming out from Kvetun in forthcoming months and possibly years as well. But first of all, Alex has got an upcoming event. So tell us, what's the name of the event? Where is it? How much is it? Tell us all about it.
Yes, we have a tournament that's called BOHEMA First Harvest. And BOHEMA, of course, stands for Brutally Oppressive HEMA. That's because why not? And the idea is that we partnered with wonderful guys from HEMS Finland, HM from Netherlands, and our club HEMA Prague to have something really cool for our students because it's Tier B tournament. And what is Tier B tournament is when beginners, regulars can compete, and most advanced people who have medals in longsword, they just judging. They will not ruin your day. And of course, for those advanced people, we have distinguished sparring games for a second day. But first and foremost, this is longsword tournament for beginners. It will take place at September 7 and 8. And in wonderful city of Prague, or Prague, as locals call it, this is very heart of Czech Republic and very heart of Europe. So you can get there just for 50 euro, I guess, for plane tickets from most positions in Europe. And the coolest thing is that we'll give you swords, and the swords that we'll speak about later, the Eastern swords, no, of course, Kvetun swords, because it's kind of the same thing at this point. And that means that you don't need even to suffer with extra luggage. So please come join us. You can find any information at bohema.info or on Facebook or Himagon, whatever. And it will be a lot of fights, maximum size of pools, maybe even 2 times. We'll run the pools. It depends on the final amount of participants. And you will have incredible privilege of being judged by the top fencers from Netherlands, Finland, and Czech Republic. So I envy you dearly.
So basically the opportunity to do loads and loads of fighting. If you're a relatively new fencer, this is for you. It's longsword only, isn't it, this one?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a longsword tournament. So if you're relatively new to longsword competition, then this could be for you. But equally, if you're experienced, there's going to be tons of sparring opportunity, isn't there? So if you're an instructor or an advanced fencer, then you'll get to meet with your peers, hang out, have fun in the beautiful city of Prague, and do lots of fencing.
Precisely. The whole second day is built around different sparring games. I guess the most notorious of which will be King of the Boar, but I don't tell more about it. You can go and read. But the main thing is that there will be constant work in Fight Me area. You can spar as much as you can handle, and so you can handle more. There is also hotel with wellness, with pool and saunas and shit included in our wonderful effort. So you can fight until you have death, then rejuvenate in pool and sauna, and then jump back to fight. And you will fight with lots of instructors on the second day. So go.
Yeah, it sounds absolutely fantastic. And this is the first one, and it's intended to be an annual event, I guess.
Yeah, next year it will be the last weekend of September, and you promised to come next year.
Yeah, it would be easier for me. So obviously for UK people, our schools go back at the beginning of September, and that's literally first week of schools back for me. So it's very, and both my kids are going to new schools, so it's very difficult this year. But yes, I'd absolutely love to if I can make it. And I've always wanted to go to Prague, and I've never managed it. So I really, really want to get over there, and hopefully I'll come over there before that anyway. Right, that's
Prague is
great.
Absolutely wonderful. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no. So I only hear good things about Prague, and obviously it's where you live.
Yeah, it's where I live now, and I'm super happy. There is 3 years now, but I'm still in the honeymoon period because it's so beautiful and so historical. You can start at wonderful location of Vyšehrad, and in 3 hours you can walk from the 21st century to 12th century in the middle of the Prague castle. It's just mind-blowing and wonderful. So it's perfect location for fight and travel.
And the other thing that's worth mentioning as well is that you have a HEMA club in Prague. So if you're from anywhere and you're going on holiday in Prague, maybe not if you're not on your honeymoon, maybe that might not be very diplomatic, but because I know lots of people go there for their honeymoons. But if you're going on holiday to Prague, then also maybe you can visit your HEMA club as well.
That's true. We're open for everyone when we have guests recently from United States and Argentina and other countries, and it's always a blessing to have you in our hall. So we have training every day of the week. So just contact me or club page on Facebook, Instagram, and we'll make it happen.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'll put all those links below. Now, we're going to keep this fairly brief, but we've been working on some things, haven't we? Now, we can't tell you everything we've been working on because some of that's top secret and more than our life is worth to divulge at with you yet. But we can maybe give some hints and ideas of things that we've been working at, can't we? So what would you like to start teasing people with, Alex?
Well, the thing that is just around the corner is, of course, Easton Longsword. You maybe saw some hints here and there. You saw the pictures of prototypes in a Facebook post of Kvetun about movement to Serbia. And the coolest thing is that we're finally getting close to the point, I guess, in HEMA history per se, where we can have a feather of a longsword that handles and behaves very, very close to the subsword. And this also happens only because we mastered their dumbbell cross-section technology with our bestseller Easton Saber. So to simplify things, imagine that you have an Easton Saber, but it is a longsword.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, one of the other ideas that came to this from originally was a lot of people came to me and said, "Oh, Matt, you know, I want to get a custom feather, but I'm doing Fiore or I'm doing Vardi or perhaps even in some cases Morozzo," and they're saying, "But you know, the Federschwert is fundamentally a German thing. Okay, so we have an example in Italy, but I suspect it was probably taken there later in collecting times. Generally speaking, the Feder is a part of the German tradition of longsword fencing. So for all of those other longsword traditions of fencing, all of the Italian schools, and indeed we know there were French and English schools of longsword as well, then what are we supposed to use? We know they had blunt longsword trainers, but there's no evidence whatsoever that they had something which looked like a Federschwert with the big ricasso, the schild. Over the years, various people I know have designed things for use for Fiore or Vardi. So I kind of thought, well, we've got two things going on here that we can combine. We've got the tried and tested technology of the Easton Saber blade with the nice thick edges, which also gives good rigidity because it's like an I-beam. And it's super safe, it's super durable. We've worked out the right distal taper for it and the heat treatment, which was, as Alex can probably spend a lot longer than we have here to talk about, very difficult to get right, because obviously when you have a thick part and you have a thin part, trying to heat treat them becomes more complicated. To cut a long story short, we've ended up with a design with different blade sizes, 2 different sizes primarily, but or overall sizes, but also potentially a whole range of different hilt designs. So don't just think it's one specific sword. It's more of a concept, as it were, a lifestyle choice. And this leads to a sword which is essentially more like a real sword than your typical Federschwert is. And moreover, if you're historically minded, then not only does it behave more like a real sword, but in addition, it looks more like a real sword. So if you're doing perhaps living history or reenactment, I've used my prototype in a reenactment context and it worked great. But in addition to that, it's probably more similar to what people were actually using for longsword practice in Italy and England and France and places like this. So basically outside of the Holy Roman Empire. To cut a long story short, that's the next product coming out. But we are working on other things as well, aren't we, behind the scenes, including, well, other things, one-handed swords.
You'll see it soon. But I would like to add a couple of more quick points about this new thing. So the coolest thing for me from the sword is that you can have very safe product because of very light band on the first sword with the rigid, strong bind feeling of the strong middle part and strong part. So when you go into the bind with the sword, you feel as you control the situation. There is no wobbleness, there is no spaghetti suffering. And at the same time, when you continue from your sword to your arch, your opponent is survived. So using the bucket load test from Prague, we have just 15 kilograms of flex on these bad boys. So trust issues between fencers can continue to be aggressive and closed.
Fantastic. So, and as I say, there are other products which are in development in the background, not just swords, also other things as well, other things related to protection and other types of equipment, but more about that in the future, maybe. Yes. Look, I think this has been a good sort of introduction to some of the things that are coming up. So first of all, check out the links below to Kvetun's event in Prague coming up really soon, in just a month now. Yeah, check out that, get to it if you can, but also check out Alex's club in Prague as well, if you're swinging by there, and look out for those updates on when the new products start to land that we've been working on together. And I think that a lot of people out there doing Fury and Vardy, and probably even some of the people doing Lichtenau who want an alternative training tool, so you can kind of triangulate. I think this new longsword will be quite interesting and popular, and as I say, can also be used in a sort of living history kind of context as well, because it looks more like a real sword than the typical fetish shirt does. Anyway, Alex, thanks a lot for coming on, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you back on here again soon. Maybe when the new longsword's available, we can talk a bit more about that.
Okay, thank you very much. Pleasure to see you, and cheers, guys. Bye bye.
Yeah, thanks for watching, folks, and check out those links below. Cheers.